Okay, good morning everyone. Hoping I've got sound working today, as I have so much issue with sound on these streams. As always, I'm just doing a little setup, posting it to Facebook, all that kind of stuff. I need to change the picture, don't I? Okie dokes. I think we are all set. Whew. If I could get the Ellis to check the sound, that would be amazing. But I think we're all set to rock and roll. What do you think, Lollipop? Be wild. Little wild Arabian. Eh? Okay. Hang on, I've definitely got my riding hat, haven't I? Because I'm not... Would I be able... No, there it is. Never mind. Ignore me. It's all good. We're all good. Ready to go, Lollipop. Even if I'm a bit all over the place today. Right. Okie dokes. A bit of a bogey nose. What's that about? Well, hello and welcome to the stream. If you haven't come here before, this is Lollipop, my little wonder Arab. And before I go any further, I need to say, for anyone who hasn't heard this already, that this is not a how to start your young horse stream. This is not going to have all the techniques in the correct order with proper explanations for everything. This is just me training my young horse and having fun, and I will be talking through everything that I do so you can have an idea of what I'm thinking and what I'm looking for. But that's completely unique to anything that you might have with your horse, and there'll be things that I skip, there'll be things that I spend way longer on than I normally would, and I'll try to talk about as many of those things as I can and what I would do differently. But I don't want you to think that you could watch this stream and then start your own horse. That's not the goal here. The goal of this stream is to show what it takes to take a young little Arabian who doesn't really know very much, who's been a pasture ornament all of his life, and explain to him what he needs to understand in order to go to the horsemanship showcase and demonstrate in front of everyone. So we'll be taking him there in November to the horsemanship showcase at Berry Farm, and showing off everything we can do. But what's going to be really nice, if you're pulling in, watching the stream now, you're going to be able to see the hours spent just walking about, hanging out, practicing the same little basic details, and what a session actually looks like as you're working towards doing the incredible things that you'll see me and the other presenters at the showcase doing. Because the demos we do at the show are not what the training sessions look like. And I think that's something that we don't always explain properly when we do educational material. We often show it very fast-paced, trying to get all of our points across in as little time as possible. Because obviously we know you're not going to sit through 70 hours of footage, but that's kind of what it's going to take to get any horse ready to go out and do shows and perform. It's not a 45-minute session and then we're ready. You can get incredible things done with a horse in 45 minutes. Absolutely you can. But they won't know it, right? It's something that you accomplish on the day through good timing and feel and all these other things. And so yes, you might be able to pull off a demonstration with a horse on the day just through your abilities, but your horse won't know it, and that's a big difference. When I go to a show and do something like fire breathing, which I don't know if Lolo will be able to do by then, but we'll see. Hopefully, maybe. But when I go and do fire breathing, I don't want it to be a, well, maybe he'll be okay with it. It has to be, he's seen it enough times that I'm absolutely confident he's not going to react negatively. Because we've had a good number of times with him doing this 4/4 yield and not getting it wrong, like he just did there. Doing the correct step. A good number of times. It's interesting, you've struggled both times on this rein today. Here you go. Before I can expect him to do it at a show, I need him to have done it hundreds of times. And we may cheat and we may do things that we haven't practiced quite as much. But overall, the things we'll do at the show, we will have done them a lot before we end up doing them in a new environment where there's other stresses that might come under him. He will have also spent a lot of time doing things away from home, so he's used to being away from home and doing things. And so I want to show that. I want to actually physically show the hours that it takes to truly get a horse confident with something. Not just a short video showing you that initial change that I'm looking for. Because that 4/4 yield I just did, I could do an entire video on that 4/4 yield. Going through and explaining every little detail of where I want him to step and why and what the improvement was that I was looking for and things like that. And people do. There are lots of them. If you go and watch videos, you'll be able to see plenty of videos of people doing that. And the thing that we'll often say it, but I don't know that it's ever been shown, is you then have to do it every day for 6 months for it to really be solid. Your circles have got so much better. Yeah, they have. It's interesting watching the horse go from not really understanding what's expected to becoming a riding horse. I love the transformation. So many little attitudes change. You can see he's come out here today and yeah, it's a hot day, and if it was windy and rainy maybe it'd be different, but you can tell he's expecting to trot for a long time. But he's not expecting to just prance and be done. He's got that sort of travelling gait. And I always want my horse, certainly in the beginning, to have this travelling gait as the natural gait. And then I have to sort of ask for more, rather than coming out and I've got a firecracker and I have to sort of spend all this time and energy calming them down. And of course, like, it's not always possible to start here, but this is the goal, is that this is where we start. This laid back animal, my goodness, almost too laid back. Move that over. That's it. What happened to my ridiculously sensitive little Ferrari? Yeah, we're sleepy today. That's good. That's good. Yeah. You're tired after you had a big day yesterday, didn't you? Yeah. We had trotting in the arena, and then we went for a hack off with Puff. Yeah, that was a lot. It was a busy day yesterday. I kind of actually can see that he's a little stiffer today as well, so I'm spending a bit longer on this walking warm-up. If you want to see more about how I warm up and why, I talked about it a lot on the earlier videos. It's very important though to just walk somewhere, trot a little bit before you saddle up and after. You learn so much about how your horse is feeling, and you make sure that their muscles are all set and ready to go. He's starting to get more cheeky now though. It's good. Yes, you are. We're going to have to change these circles a bit, aren't we? Not sure if I can get this message across. It was a bit different, wasn't it? You're so lovely. So we're just doing lots of little things to help him get better and not looking to the outside so much on that circle. It's one of those things we get a bit obsessed with, us people, and we're terrible for it. But in reality, over time it will get better and better. I'll just keep doing exercises that encourage him to look at me, and as he gets to do more and more circles, he's going to start to realise actually it's a lot easier to travel with my nose to the inside. Particularly as we do more and more exercises that lead to him moving with that traction. Oh dear, we've had a crow hit the window and mirror. What is going on over there, Lollipop? Hey? An awful lot of noise they're making, isn't it? They're making an awful lot of noise, aren't they? It's alright, Wallop. That's why you've got humans. We protect you from scary things. Looks like he's alright. Looks like he's getting up. Oh, interesting. It looks like we've got 4 magpies, and they're trying to attack this crow that's on the ground, that's gotten hurt by hitting our mirror. And there's another crow with 2 crows. Oh God. Well, not sure what's going on over there, but it's not good. Oh no, Lollipop. Making an awful racket, aren't they? Well, let's see if the last 3 times I've saddled you, my wrist has completely messed me up. It's feeling pretty good today, but that's what's kind of messed me up, so I'm going to just be prepared for it to hurt this time. Try to actually saddle you correctly, huh? Rather than having that stirrup get stuck halfway up because I hesitated. There we go, much better. Not perfect, much better. I feel like I'm out of practice, having barely used this saddle at all in lockdown. I've been doing a lot of horses that are in their own saddles. You alright, Lollipop? No. You don't do any of that. I know, I was going to actually exercise you a little bit more before putting the saddle on, but let the crows figure themselves out first. While we saddle, huh? I'm going to go get rid of them if they haven't gone by the time I've saddled you. Now, for anyone who was watching yesterday, you might remember or have noticed we did we spooked him on the ground, made him jump from saddling. When saddled. Instead of, we've sort of been avoiding it because it's one of the last things I work on. Sort of do a spook as a final thing. Because obviously if he can cope with the saddle on while spooking, he can pretty much cope with anything. Well, I think that poor crow that hit the window has been killed by his friends, I think. That or he's playing dead. No, you're playing dead. Which is interesting in itself. How badly stunned are you, kiddo? If I give you a few minutes, are you going to be able to figure yourself out? Lollipop, now's not the time. Lollipop. Can you just stand over there? Lollipop. Look. Listen here. You. Stay there. I'll decide what to do with this. Trouble is, kiddo, if I leave you there, they're going to come back. I don't really know what to do with you, actually. I don't know if I just give you a minute if you're going to figure yourself out. Or if you've paralysed yourself in some way. Trouble is, you guys are really upsetting Lollipop, right? And I kind of want to ride, so I kind of need you to deal with this shit, right? So on a funny little side note, part of the reason I'm doing this is I want Lollipop to realise that I will deal with things for him. So I was quite firm with him. I said, you stand over there and I'm going to deal with this. As opposed to just letting him be worried. I said, no, you stop getting fixated on the corner. And you stand over there and wait while I have a look. Of course, now I don't actually know what to do with this poor crow that's hit the window, hit the mirror, and seems pretty stunned. He's blinking. He's not moving his body. Just makes me worried he's twisted his neck or something. But I've also known it where I'd wait for a little bit and they suddenly get up and fly off, so. You guys, you are so loud and busy, you're upsetting Lollipop. I mean, if I tried to pick you up, are you going to suddenly take off when I do that? Let's have a look. What have you got? Oh, you're up. Okay. Well, you stood up. I might just be dealing with a concussed crow. I want to take a photo of you. You're kind of cute. Got that silvering around your head. Sorry, Lollipop. I'll just take a photo of a crow instead of writing you. Oh no, you're black and you're in a shadow though. Is my phone going to pick you up? What do you reckon, mate? Need a minute longer? I'm worried that you're still holding your beak open. Or you dislocated it or something? You look broken. I don't know what a crow's beak is supposed to look like. You're certainly not going to let me pick you up, are you? I'll move you out of here. Let's post you to social media, why not? You gonna take off? You look like you thought about it then. Well, my dude, I can't really... my horse is going to go cold on me. Your beak doesn't quite look right, does it though? Yeah. As I said, this is not an educational how to start your young horse video. I think I may have pointed that out. Are you hopping away? Oh, well done, mate. I think you've just hurt your wing a bit, haven't you, maybe? Maybe your beak. Well, that's how much time I can give you, my friend. I hope the others don't bother you now. But yeah, it's quite important, you know, when your horse is bothered by something, to sort of take charge, tell him to stand somewhere and sort of manage the situation for them. It's one of those little things. If you can set up funny little situations like that, or take advantage of funny little situations like that, to go, right, okay, you stand there, and I'll make it safe. I can't see him now, so I think he's got out of there. I know. Yeah, we're not going to go too close up here, hey? But we'll kind of skim this corner. How about? Because you're safe. The more times you can do that, the more times you can say to your horse, you are safe, and then you get proven right, the more they're going to believe you. And so when I take him out hacking and I go, we're on our own, and he gets worried by something and I go, you're safe, I want him to have evidence that I'm right. And we talk a lot about being confident, as in when you ride your horse, be confident. But as much as anything, it's about your horse being confident in you. And so the reason you have to be confident is because how can your horse be confident if you're not confident? Right? So of course there is still a big part of all this where you have to be confident. But still, your horse has to still has to believe it. Oh, lollipop. Oh, lollipop. Good boy. And a little rodeo. It's alright. See, you survived. It's our first time jumping with the saddle on, isn't it? Oh. Oh. I know. You're a funny boy, aren't you? Jumping with the saddle is very similar to bucking, right? It's got that really similar movement to it. So a lot of horses have a little buck after jumping. And basically, as he came into the jump, he was distracted, he wasn't thinking, he was thinking to the outside, all those things that we've been talking about. And then he suddenly saw the jump and sort of slammed the brakes on. So I just kept the pressure the same as what it had it. Pushed him until he was sort of trying to move, and then just keep going until, until he thought about the jump and then release. It's not so much about him jumping, although we are getting more and more to that point where I have to tell him he has to jump. I'm more interested in when I ask him to jump, he gets that connection to it. The 2 ears, by the way, if you're wondering what that is. The ears. Right. We've only got 15 minutes left now, kiddo. Oh yeah, I was going to do this. Since we did this yesterday. Let's see. Attaboy. To bring it in. You know what it's going to do this time, don't you? A little bit more prepared for it. Good. Much better than yesterday. much, much better. And just keep doing it till it doesn't bother him anymore. It never ceases to amaze me how quickly they get over their fear. You're just incredible creatures. You're the bestest. You and dogs. Cats too, but just something special. Just animals in general. Let's face it. I just love animals. People, eh. I hope if you're watching this, you're an animal person as well, so you know what I mean. There's something special about animals. There's something really special about the way they think. Dogs just for their positive attitude. I mean, my God, they're always happy, right? Waggy tails and all that. Oh, there's so much I could say about the horse. And there's just never an apology for being the way they are. No shame or fear for who they are, like we wrap ourselves up in so many strange because we worry about what other people might think about us. It's almost like our brains are clever enough to work against us sometimes. And the horse and your dog and your cat, they don't think like that. It's just, I am who I am. And I love that sort of honesty. I know, it's just sweetie time. Gosh. It's gosh. Attaboy. Attaboy. Okie dokes. Well, should we have a little ride, kiddo? How do you think? Go for a mosey? Have a mooch about? Okay. A little thing, which I almost always forget. Just ask him to balance. You sure that backhand's solid enough? If you're confident, I'm giving you the reminder. That reminder is like, stay balanced. I'm getting up on there. Did I forget to tighten your girth one last time before I got on? It feels a little slippy. Sure, I did tighten it one more time. I don't know about you, but I always like to sit for a little bit when I get on. I want him to think that this is the norm. I get up here, I have a fiddle. We don't just wander off straight away, It's a shame, kiddo. I was really hoping to crack that trot the rail today. I feel like our crow friend, who's still sat there in the shadows, is just like a bit of a disaster waiting to happen, so we'll just repeat what we did yesterday. So what we were doing yesterday is just going through the cues, but in a completely random order, right? So he was very much like, we're going to trot, I know we're going to trot, let's trot. So to counter this, instead of just letting him do it, which is a lot of what we've been doing with him, it's just like allow him to do things, we start to go, okay, well, I'm going to say something and you have to get the right answer, but you don't do the cues in any particular order, not something that he's able to predict. You know, I want him to start to just listen, not for any particular reason. There shouldn't be a, oh, well, if you're saying it that way, I'll do it, but not if you're saying it this way, right? And so, yeah. We might have to go and approach that crow, though, if you're going to be this silly about it. If you're going to get yourself in a tizwazzle about it. Okay. We don't just trot a few steps and stop. No, we don't. It's not the game. Just because I let you trot. No. You're only just being silly. I know. I know. I can't believe we're doing this. Already, we're working on this stuff. You know, I did have a little bit of an inkling. This might be a thing with you. So he's just sort of testing my leadership a little bit. And I don't really want to be working on the crow right now. That is not my goal, to work on spooky things. I don't feel like I have enough control of him for that type of stuff. That's what I'm working on today, right? Is being able to say stuff and have him listen and not ignore me, right? And in order to handle scary things, I need to be able to tell him stuff. I need to be like, turn here, go there, go over here, do this, do that, do the other, right? That's it. Now go forward. But he's sort of going, well, since you don't have control over me, I refuse to go that way. And I'm going to be all sticky and not listen to you and ignore you. And it's like, I'll keep you safe. You need to trust in me to keep you safe here. This is my job. There we go. Good. This could very quickly turn into a spooky corner if we let it become that. And so whilst we've been so laid back up to this point, I'm now having to be quite firm, which is not really what I had in my mind for today's lesson, but that's fine. That's fine. It's what it needs to be. Yeah, move that over now. I know. You're getting a bit cheeky with it, aren't you? It's not it though, is it? What did I ask for? That's not what I asked for, is it? You're running off with that shoulder. This is not at all what I expected to be doing today. You gotta go with the flow, that's for sure. It's not bad, right? He's not being naughty. He's just starting to test the boundaries of what he can do. And I need to have good answers. This is like getting close to where I want to use a stick, rather than moving my leg, because I'm getting to that point where my leg is starting to get dull. And I don't want that. Ever. But with him, it's nice that the leg has begun to get dull, because he was so sensitive to the leg before that it was like I couldn't do anything, I couldn't move without problems coming up, right? and I'm just messing with it. Right? Trying to stop him from... What's it? Trying to stop him from assuming what I'm going to ask him to do. He's so sensitive, he knows so much, right? Just instinctively. The backup's not great on the ground, is it? So asking for a really good ridden backup's going to be a little bit... You gotta go forward, you've gotta go forward. Yeah. Even towards scary corner. Almost like especially towards scary corner. Okay. This can be the problem when you start avoiding places because you're like, I just don't want to mess with things that are going to cause problems. They can get kind of like, your horse can get a bit fixated on that it's a problem. We'll see if it becomes a long-term issue or not. Lollipop, you can't ignore my leg. No, I know you can't. It's not a tight turn, just to there. I know. It's starting to get strict with you. Oh my goodness. How did this happen so quickly? How did I end up being strict on you so quick? I felt like it was just a few days ago we were getting bucked off out of every time I fidgeted. Now I'm having to tell you off. Pretty bad. You have to be so adaptable though to ride young horses, I think. Because what's going on? What are you pooping? Okay, fair enough. You're a dressage horse now. Oh god, I've trained in something. Let's go. Yeah, that's a bit of a difference, isn't it? Tapping your bum instead of just squeezing. So that's the first trot in a while that I've asked for. Right. I know. What is this, huh? Rising and diagonals? I know, I've never done a rising trot on you, have I? I know, what's going on? You gotta keep going now. Keep it going. He's like, oh no, I've realised something. Okay, you might have to trot for a bit longer now. So wiggly. Oh my goodness gracious. Oof. Can we get a rhythm, dude? Come on, online you've got lovely rhythms, haven't you? So, a lot of what's happening here is Lollipop learning to balance. And because he's an Arabian, of course, he can do quite a bit of left and right wiggling and not fall over. Where I feel like other horses just can't do that, like Arabs can. Arabs have this incredible ability to wiggle. I'm going to keep going till I get one lap without you stopping, kiddo. I know, this is quite a big thing for you, isn't it, to learn? Can you make it past H? Can you make it past H without stopping? Oh, no! Right when I was about to say it, damn it. I gotta make it back to X. I know this is silly, but he was all the way through here, he thinks about stopping. Oh, not this time. And normally when he reaches X, he thinks about going back to puff. That's it, yes, good. Good, and walk. Good boy. Oh, that's a big lesson there, isn't it? 2 big lessons today. So keep walking. Oh my word, Lollipop. That was like trying to ride a fish. You're so flexible laterally, aren't you? You're talented. You're a talented little wonder Arab. So wiggly. I had a friend of mine who would race Arabians, and his thing said to me, was actually, I think it was Aaron Parker, if you've ever heard of him. He said that the fastest Arabian was not necessarily the one that was the most muscly or had the most individual speed. It was the Arabian that decided to go straight that day. Oh, it's really stuck in my head, as I've almost always had Arabs, and it just makes me laugh every time. Because there are just days when they will not go straight to save the world. They wouldn't go straight. I'm liking his blowing out though, that's really nice. You notice how I didn't let him stop straight after that trot? He'd got what I call the Pirelli going. Pirelli did a fantastic thing in teaching people to release by stopping. Because people tend to release, but they don't really release. Like, I'm sat here and I'm truly released. My legs are not touching. I'm staying out of his way as much as I can, and he's allowed to wriggle quite a lot within that walk. Whereas before I was being very like, no, you have to be here. Now I apply pressure, now I release. And the release is complete, right? I don't really care what he does next until he's off the path. And so I'm not trying to make him stay here, I'm going to let him make that mistake instead of trying to hold him. And so what Pirelli did to teach this was they said, get what you ask for, get what you want, and then stop. To teach people, like, truly release your horse after you're done. Ask for something, release, and completely stop the horse. The trouble was that people's horses learnt this and would do something nice and then be like, well, I'm not moving now. And then you'd have to work very hard to be like, no, that wasn't good enough to get a full stop. And he's getting a bit of that where we'd stopped after the trot to help him really feel like the trot is a good thing. And then, we were actually getting like, no, I'm not going now. So we had to sort of go, no, just because you've done a nice trot doesn't mean the game's ended. We're now just going to walk the rail for a bit. And I'm being very particular, like I want to get this far up and then turn. So even though I am still avoiding that crow sat on the fence, I've set myself a target and I'm going to hit it each time, rather than him being able to nudge that line back. And I think if there wasn't a crow still sat in that corner, I'd make him go and stand there to finish with me on him. What I'm probably going to do instead is we'll do one more walking lap, and then when I get to B I'm going to get off, so one more full lap, stop at B, and then I'm going to walk over to that corner and stand in the corner with him to finish. I was thinking about doing that, and then I let you cut that corner. After just saying I wouldn't let you do that. Damn you ponies. So much better at focusing on what's going on now than we are. We're terrible for not being in the moment. It's something we all need to get better at. Good boy. Yeah, much lighter off that leg. Now. Good. Really good, kiddo. Come on. You still here, Mr. Crow? Come on. And there we go. That was the thing I was expecting if I came into this corner. Lollipop. Well done, you did really good. Yeah, so we've kind of swung the other way on the respect rapport scale, where he was all nervous and worried about what was expected in the riding. So we had to do loads of like, it's okay, you're all right, and showing you that, like leading a toddler through, like, come on, you can do it. And then we've just suddenly gone, no, I'm fine with it now, and I don't want to do any of this, and like a teenager. And so my goal is to now get that respect back, and we may lose the rapport. He may become afraid of me on his back, or start getting overly sensitive to my aids, to where he's almost jumpy, and then I have to work on slowing it down again, and then we go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until that pendulum swing is right in the center, right where I want it, where he's respectful of me and listening, and not so respectful that he's fearful. You are such a handsome pony. Right, kiddo? Let's get all your tack off. And should we go for another short hack with Puff? No, I think what we're going to do, so we've gone a bit over, we've run out of time for that hack. I think we'll just maybe have a little liberty session with Puff in here. Well, again, I hope you guys have all enjoyed watching, seeing Lollipop's development. Day 18 already. Oh my goodness, Lollipop. Where has the time gone, huh? We're likely to see some really fast development going on now. Where we've been quite slow over the past sort of 10 sessions, in that we've been working so much on, it's okay, the saddle's not a stress, don't worry. And now that we're starting to get a bit cocky, a bit cheeky with it, I think we're going to start to see some of the more normal young horse training things where we work on getting him to trot the rail and canter and do clover leafs. Meanwhile, getting him used to flags and stock whips. Maybe even some fire on the ground. I almost feel like you want to hold that bit for a bit longer. You are funny. And I almost feel like I want to start riding him with a stick, getting him used to that. Because the ground skills that he's got, the circles he's doing, the hindquarter, forequarter yields that he's doing, all that type of stuff, is looking really, really nice. Really happy with all of that. And whilst I need to keep repeating those things, they're no longer learning experiences for him, right? He knows them. They just need to be practiced so that he knows them absolutely all the time without even thinking. They need to become so automatic, like changing the clutch in your car, changing gear in your car, so you put the clutch in, you change gear, you don't even think about it after a while. And that's how his hindquarter, forequarters need to become. You know, to the point where he doesn't even consider them. Same with his backup, which needs to be a touch faster, higher feet. But that backup, he just needs to get so much more confident with it. but he knows it, he just doesn't do it very well, right? There's a difference. So now we need to work on practicing that till he's really got it. And so there's no reason why we can't start teaching him other things, like fire. You know, it's exciting. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I